Hello. 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 So this is a 10 minutes. It's actually supposed to be 3 minutes. So this is a 3 minutes warning. Would I call it a warning or heads up that we are going to be starting the next session shortly? So please, I'm not saying you should rush your food though. Don't rush your food. You can still be eating and be listening to the next session as it's happening. So, but we would like you to settle down. If your neighbor is not around, please call them so that we will start the next session in 10 minutes. Thank you.
Hello. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is the final call for the states that have not submitted their documentation on the enablers and barriers to kindly do so. This is the final call for the states that have not submitted their updated template to kindly do so. And I think I have to call out the states. Ogun State, we have not received your submission. Yobe, we haven't received your submission yet. A call for Ogun State and Yobe to kindly submit your updated template, please. Thank you. Just receiving from Yobe, we are left with Ogun State. Please, can you kindly, for Ogun State, please, if you are a representative from Ogun State, can I see your hand? Ogun State. Ogun. Nobody? Okay. I will meet them at the secretariat and take your name and number. I will call you on phone. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So please, again, let's submit our homeworks. Let's not be disobedient students. All right, can we please settle down? We're about to start the next event. And this is going to be the last one for today. And then we'll have our closing. Oh, are you serious? So, make I talk one thing about the homework we then give us. Because it be like we never see the real importance of that homework. Una they hear me, I know say una they chop, but me una they use una ear hear me. That homework, we talk say, make una write una challenges and una achievements so that we go get them. Una know why we won't get them? Una know? Somebody talk say yes. Una no know. Okay, make I explain. Now because say that information, una hear when my colleague talk for morning say UNICEF, they very interested in them. That information go give us knowledge. And una know that saying when they talk say knowledge is power. Una remember that statement? Exactly. That knowledge where we go get. Now something where then go use create one document. Where they go use advocate to una government. Because if they no understand una challenges, they no fit know how to take support una. Una see say earlier we talk say government get role to play. Yesterday we talk say government get role to play. Una talk some challenges. We talk say government get role to play in supporting toilet business owners. But no be all government people dey here. The ones where they the top, where they make the decision, they no dey here. So we need to carry that information, go give them. So that when they get that information, then go take know how they go fit support una. And when they see say, no be only say una they ask, then don't see say, oh, these people see the work where they don't do so far. This work is better where. Now for the good of our community, see wetin dem don achieve. That one too go push them to fit support where una need support. Because una know say na new dispensation be this, and we go need to start these activities all over again. For morning, one oga for back talk say because dem change government, the steering committee stop to work, and I challenge am say need to go back, go make sure say that steering committee start to dey work. So na the work wey we wan do now. So abeg, make una take am serious, make we submit that document. We be talk say make una submit am before lunch break. Now lunch break don finish. If una dey try tidy am up, abeg make una tidy am up so that we go fit give am to Abdusalam for back. Thank you. So now I dey wait for una to settle down, make we start the next session or the next event. Changing gears, harmonizing actions and commitments to meet the sanitation challenge in Nigeria. So since yesterday, we've said many things. We've mentioned many things. We've seen the problems. We've had recommendations. We've seen how both governments, private sectors, agencies, and all other stakeholders, partners, development partners can support toilet business owners to generate revenue, to scale their businesses, to make sure that they provide the toilets that Nigeria needs to end open defecation. But we also saw some figures and presentations where we found out that the number of toilets that we need to build to ensure Nigeria ends open defecation is still plenty. So we cannot continue with business as usual. How do we start doing the business unusual? How do we shift gears? I know those of us who use manual cars, there is a gear we will shift to that would make our cars accelerate really fast. Which gear is that? I don't drive a manual car, please. Which gear do we shift from or to make sure the car starts going very fast? Sir? Ma? Gear 1. Okay, so the gear 1 is the gear that would make the car accelerate very well. Sorry, please explain, because can you please explain? I saw you trying to. Please tell us how, if the car is going slow, how do we make it go very fast? Please, just explain.
It moves step by step. Step 1 is to take off. 2, to balance it. 3, now speed. To 4, 5.
Okay, so sir, you want to tell us how you do it for big car? I thought you wanted to tell us how you do it for. How do we do it? Who has experience driving trucks or big, heavy machines? Nobody. Okay. Anyway, we shall get the idea, sha. Now, wetin lead to this next event where we want to talk now. They say how we go take shift gear. Because this sanitation vehicle that we are driving, we need to make it go faster. It cannot continue at this slow pace that it's going. And how are we going to do this? We want to see how we can harmonize actions, all the commitments that people have made in the past, both government, private sector. How can we bring all of this together to make sure that this challenge we are facing, these targets that we have for 2025 and 2030, we can achieve it? That is what we are going to do in this next session. I don't know if all our panelists are here yet, or is it also a panel? Let's wait and see. To get this started, we are trying to, I think some of the panelists are still eating, so we will just give them 3 more minutes to round up the eating. Please don't worry, next time we will not have such a delay in the feeding arrangements, because I said we would just do this for 20 minutes, but it took over 1 hour. But I'm sure everybody has eaten. Is there anybody that has not eaten? It's only me that has not eaten. Oh. My ticket is here. Oh. Please don't carry the food away. Oh. I've not eaten. All right. I think our panelists are now complete. Okay, so I'm going to hand this over to Mr. Nanpet Chuktu, my oga, my boss, one of the champions of the wash sector in Nigeria. Please, let's give him a round of applause. We've eaten now, we should have energy. Please give him a round of applause. If we don't clap, I'll not give him the mic and we'll sleep here. Thank you very much. So he is going to, call out the panelists and introduce them. Mr. Nampet.
Thank you, Tito. Hello. Can I get your attention? Can we stand up? Just 20 seconds. Let's just stand, stretch, so that this food will... hello. Some people are still sitting down, no? Okay. Right hand up. Wiggle your fingers. Left hand up. Wiggle your fingers. Wiggle. 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 Some hands are already coming down. Okay. Thank you. Have a sit down. So, thank you very much. It's been a long day, but I think very fruitful. I love the conversation we had earlier on the fecal sludge, Abby. That one generated a lot of debate. But so, how do we move forward? We've had 2 days of discussion, and this moment, I will invite some 4 persons to come and join me. But before I do that, we want to look at a few questions. How do we harmonize action? A few things we need to be discussing. As TBOs, what is your relationship with the LGA wash unit? What is your relationship with the environmental health officers? Go back, Abba. What is your relationship with the RUASA at the state level? Are there laws that are supporting you or are not supporting you? We would like to look at some of these things. We would like to look at what are the kind of coordination. We will ask a few questions. What is your relationship with some of these NGOs that are there? Are they supporting the work? Are they a bit different? How can TBOs think beyond just building toilets? Earlier on when we were talking about emptying, some of you probably were not interested because you're not involved in the emptying. We're only interested in that. Let's use SATO, construct for them, and we don't go. How can we think about the other components of the sanitation economy? We were challenged, I think, earlier today and yesterday about the urban area. And somebody from Abuja was saying, we've been talking about only pit toilets. How about poor flush? Then managing the toilets in the markets, the poor flush, the WC in the markets. How are we managing it? Some operations and maintenance need to be taking place. We need to be thinking about this. We have been here and we've had there's a lot of interest. Government, Mrs. Okpara, has showed us that this is part of a national campaign. There's the enabling environment. How can we operate within that enabling environment? So, to help us wrap this up in brief, but we would like to steer the discussion to go on, because there will be another discussion on after this conference, what will happen. And that will be something that I don't want us to take too much time because we want to come to that. On our panel, I would like to invite Mr. Benson Atta. He's the national coordinator for the network of CSOs in water and sanitation. Please, a round of applause for Benson. And Benson, after Benson, we have Mrs. Joy Aderele. She's the country director for United Purpose. United Purpose has been a champion organization in sanitation, and she will bring in some very interesting perspectives in terms of inclusion and gender. And a round of applause for her, please. We would like to invite Mrs. Kiernan John. She is formerly with Plateau State Rights Disability Commission, and she will bring perspectives to this conversation that we easily forget. And from Lixil, our earlier conversation with Langard, I would like to ask Mike Adegbe to come forward representing Lixil. Mike, a round of applause for Mike. Thank you. And our champion national coordinator for the campaign for Nigeria, Mrs. Chizoma Okpara. Please, a round of applause for her. So I'm going straight to business. No protocol. I would start with Joy Aderele. Sorry, this is. I hope you people are seeing. I don't want to block anybody on this end, so that's why I'm moving away. So looking at the issues, TBOS. So yeah, TBOS have been in the forefront of providing toilets to households. How do we ensure that TBOs consider the needs of children and women and persons living with a disability in terms of their design, marketing, and sales? Joy, is there a microphone there? Here.
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody once said that the reason why you say gentlemen is because ladies are already gentle. So that's just a joke. So I think talking about gender, we're looking at different people. We are looking at male, women. We're looking at boys, girls, and we're looking at how diverse and different their needs are, and how we need to begin to design to meet the different contexts of this different population. A lot of times as business owners, we just want to sell our products. But it goes beyond that, because if you create things that some of your population are not able to use, then it kind of limits your reach and how you're able to even sell eventually. I'll give examples. So, for example, in our work in United Purpose, there was a time that working with the community structure and with community people, we created ropes in the toilet. These ropes allow people that are visually impaired to be able to track their way out of the toilet, because a lot of time we are not even considering those that are visually impaired or those that have one disability or the other. We just want to make the toilet available and assume that it's going to be fit for purpose for everyone, but that's not the case. People have different needs, people have different interests, concerns, and looking at gender-sensitive design is what can help us to address the issues. If you look at women in Puda, for example, a woman in Puda, her privacy is very important to her. So if you create a toilet, a washroom in a place that doesn't give her that privacy, she's not going to use it. And at the end of the day, you see a lot of programming where we've established some interventions, but people are not assessing it. People are not assessing whether it's even water, create access to water, but where we've created that access, is it somewhere that is really accessible? So in designing toilets, business owners must begin to work with that gender lens to know that the needs of men and women differs. And then ensuring that their design meets these needs would help us to begin to create inclusion that makes what we do to be sustainable.
Oh, thank you, Joy. Thank you so much. So, let's take it a notch forward. Kenan, as a disability rights advocate and a woman with disability, can you kindly tell us experiences you've had using toilets at home and in public places? This will help us, the TBOs, really understand what is happening so that our designs are also inclusive. So it would be good to really pay close attention to some of these experiences.
Okay.
Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon. I have had my fair share of challenges when accessing toilets, both at homes and in public places. Like in my own house, my toilet is partially accessible. I said partially because I don't have grab rails like others. But it's very accessible. I can maneuver myself inside the toilet and also to come out of the toilet. But when accessing public toilets, that one is not something here. Using this hall, if I'm pressed, where will I go? Is the toilets here accessible for person on a wheelchair? What if I don't have a caregiver that can assist me? When I went to a toilet that can assist me, it wasn't accessible. So a man was there. He had to assist me. Two of them, they assisted me to enter the toilet, which is embarrassing. Even to access this hall, that ramp there, it is not ramp. If it is a ramp, I'm supposed to find myself inside the hall without anybody assisting me. But at least it's a bit okay. So, talk less of accessing toilets, public toilets, like in markets and schools. You go there, you will see them without ramps, without grab bars for me. Sometimes they will say, this is toilet, you can go there. Even the doors of those toilets, they are not accessible. Talk less of me to enter. And this conference, what I saw was pit toilets, squatting toilets for persons with disabilities. We can't. We can't access those toilets. Even you that you are seated here, you will not know what I'm talking about, but as you advance in age, you know what I'm talking about. Can you squat? To get up is something different. So we need toilets that are accessible, that I'll be free to enter and come out freely. It is always embarrassing, especially for a woman with disability like me. So what I want is that, please, even if it is a venue for a program, always consider persons with disabilities, especially toilets, because that's the number one thing. When I came here, the first thing I did was to ask the person that came to assist me. I said, where's the toilet? Because that is what I want. Because I'll be free, be comfortable to sit here and learn. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenan. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Joy wants to add something.
Okay, I just want to add that this is an eye opener, and it's interesting to know that even though people try to make efforts, but she talked about the RAM, she talked about it's because they don't involve the right stakeholders. That's why we end up with interventions that are not fit for purpose again. So you can see there was an attempt for a RAM, there was an attempt for a washroom, but they did not carry people with disability along. So it's very important. So this now is for the toilet owners, the private toilet. Like, you cannot be designing without the actual users. It's important to bring them into your design room, not after design. Before you start conceptualizing the idea, bring them in. They will shape the idea, and the output will be something that will be usable for everybody. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. A round of applause to Kenan for that. Really heartwarming, but good learning. Let's shift a little bit to look at partnerships. Ben Sonata, you coordinate NewSun, the network of CSOs. What kind of partnerships and coalitions do you think CSOs and NGOs can have with the TBOS? So this is a conference. What are the opportunities that are there? You know, in terms of building toilets, education, sanitation, how do we get some momentum going to accelerate this, especially from the perspective of the CSOs? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. First, I have to appreciate this opportunity to bring all the TBOs and all the stakeholders together, because with this, you see that first, what you need in a sector such as this is inclusiveness, ensuring that everybody is involved. When we talk of inclusiveness, you identify people by the roles they play and ensuring that each person plays the role he or she is expected to play in terms of their mandate. I would like to ask a question. Has there ever been a case where somebody was arrested because he built a house without a toilet in this country or in any environment, or because he refuses to use the toilet? But you see that in a various environments, all these things happen and nobody checks them. People do things, there's no checklist to see what role each person has to play, what needs to be in place, and what doesn't need to be there. Nobody gives consideration for human rights, for the right of every person. Like our sister said, human rights in WASH is very important and has to be mainstream at all the time. Within the environment, in work, you have to see that there's proper collaboration among the stakeholders, and coordination is very important. In all of this, you also have to ensure that there are appropriate legal framework that will ensure that the functionality of each stakeholder is in line with the laws guiding them or the regulation guiding them. So with this, you see that things will work well and there'll be proper coordination among the stakeholders, and the civil society will also ensure that there's proper follow-up and monitoring of the role each person needs to play within the sector, because without that, you see that different people will having conflicting roles, and at the end of the day, nothing will be achieved in the sector. In addition to that, you also have to see that the care or the concern of other people, like the TBOs, there are issues where they need to provide them funding. Like in the morning, I raised a question about the MFI making profit, reducing their interest rates. Some people laughed at it. You also have to see that people are not over inconvenienced in the course of ensuring that they are providing services or they are benefiting from one service or the other. You have to ensure that there's check and balance in all of this, and people do things according to the framework that had been provided for them. A lot of places operate without policies, without laws. And in TBOs, we have to see within the states that we are operating from, are there laws backing the type of functionality, the type of services we are supposed to be carrying out? If not, we look at the possibility of coming up with such laws. Are there policy guiding the works of the of the TBO, so that at the end of the day, when we get to a point and when we get hooked or get stuck, we'll not start at that point to start looking for laws that will guide our implementation.
How can USAN directly interface with the CSOs, with the TBOs? The TBOs could find themselves in a position of service providers and not having the capacity to engage with the policymakers. So at this stage, the TBOs are not the ones engaging with the policymakers. What will be the roles NUSAN or the CSOs can support in this?
In all of this, NUSAN's advocacy role is continuous because NUSAN continues to play advocacy role, like all the issues I've mentioned.
How can these TBOs network with you to achieve some kind of synergy? There will be specific issues in each state.
The networking is through coordination, because no agency, no organization works as an island. So there'll be coordination of activities of program by identify different issues that need to be addressed. And that is why before you carry out intervention in an area, there's supposed to be baseline. Based on the baseline, you're able to identify what services are needed or what services are required, who are supposed to carry out these services, and what capacity exists within the framework for them to carry out these services, and what gaps are there. Once there are gaps, you try to identify how these gaps can be built on capacity building and the rest of it.
Okay, so thank you.
With that, you mentioned have functionality.
Let's quickly switch to Mrs. Okpara and then ask. Thanks a lot, Benson. What type of coordination and collaboration will be ideal to be for us to have between demand generation, which is the CLTS and the triggering, and then the supply side, which is where we, the TBO, sit. As TBO, so what kind of coordination would we like to see, or do you think it's ideal from the government perspective?
Thank you very much. I think from a session before this one, there was this that came out quite strongly. What is your relationship with your local government? What is your relationship with your state and down the ladder? Now we have these institutions, and once we walk through that ladder, we'll also see that there is better coordination across board. Now, for the toilet business owners, we know that you find yourselves within states. The first thing is that coordination within yourselves must happen. And then when that happens, you are now linking up first, of course, with the local governments. And then from the local government, we're now looking at the states. So that is the kind of coordination that we are looking at that should happen. And then, of course, when in the course of, this line of action, this line of reporting, we also want to see, where we have regular meetings as well, because if there is regular, programs, you talk about the multi-stakeholder sanitation platforms where you find, from time to time there are meetings that you discuss issues, and then of course it is trickled down upwards now to the local governments and then to the states. You see that there is information, and information gets back to the national to know exactly how the state is faring, how the local governments, and of course the toilet business owners. And then for the Clean Nigeria campaign, it is more of coordination. And what are we doing at that level? We are coordinating activities across states. And of course, across states, you're also looking at the local governments. So we also see a database of state coordinators, local government coordinators, and that also implies when you are looking at the toilet business owners. So we need that kind of link. Of course, at the end of this workshop, we're really going to get that database. And with the network that is coming on board, we're really going to see how activities, actions can actually be tracked. Because today, we are talking about has come out from this, but it's, that should be. And we cannot get that out unless, there is a proper coordination where information flows, and then we are sure that each state is actually properly coordinated. So the local government is quite key. The states, of course, are quite key. So we need that to happen, and then Madam, information can actually flow.
We have GMs, Director Generals of the RUASAs here. Speak to them because they sit in the middle between our TBOs and the communities. What one message will you have for our general managers, because they are the ones that are holding the policy and the regulation? How can they support these people to scale up?
They seated with us. We need to look inwards. we need to look around us to know what the local government, what activities are on. And of course, in terms of also trading, building capacities, because we also need these capacities of toilet business owners to be built. And lastly, talking about, the activities of, the toilet business owners, the activities of triggering. Again, we have said we have gone beyond, the triggering activities where you just trigger communities and all that. Now it is more inclusive. We're looking at everybody coming on board. We're looking at not just talking about the entire community. The people living with disability, are they part of it? The women, the children, everyone is involved. And then, of course, the toilet business owners, you would have also been able to identify them, because, again, we are saying that no longer as usual, where we are looking at climbing the ladder. If we must hit our target, we are looking at more sustainable structures that are being built. And that also means that we actually need to also harmonize whatever structures that, so harmonization comes there. So the local governments, please, you are at the top of this game, and we need you to actually have that proper coordination at the local government, and of course at the state level. You are actually, ensuring that whatever activities happening around your local government, that you are actually on top of that game. And with that, I think we can get a more coordinated approach and activities for these toilet business owners.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, pass the microphone to Mike. Mike, as Lixil, what would you like to see happen in terms of this coordination, taking this to scale? What would you like to see happen from your perspective as a business entity trying to create impact? Yeah,
thank you. Good evening, everyone. Like we've been saying, for this to be taken to scale, one of the major constraints is financing. And I think it was Madam Open from Benue that spoke yesterday. She was afraid of getting money, getting loans from the MFI, the microfinance institutions. So I think there's something that is not being explored that we are seeing right now. People need to come together. There are non-financial means of raising funds for your business. I mean, TBOs can come. One can do maybe so much, but when you come together, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can do so much more. And that way we can hit the target faster. Now, let me give a good example. People like Clean Nigeria, UNICEF, or other partners, they go to communities to trigger them for behavioral change. You create demand for the product. And if there's no supply, that investment, the effort and everything becomes wasted. So what we've been encouraging TBOs to do, and it's been working for us, at least, we have success stories from Bauchi, we have that from Sokoto, is for TBOs. Normally they will get those products from distributors, and they will not get it, they will get that whether wholesale price or the recommended retail prices. What we have encouraged them to do is to come together, pull their finances together, their funds together, and they will have enough to buy the same quantity that a distributor is buying. That way they will get it cheaper, and it will come to them faster. That way they've been able to meet the demand in their locality, and it's really working. Without going to the banks or the microfinance institution, it's really working. And coming together, you can do so much more. It's like teamwork. Together, each achieves more.
Okay, thank you so much. So I would like to draw this conversation to a close. We're really pressed for time. But from each of you, I would really like you to tell us very briefly, I would like you to just cast your your mind in terms of institutions and framework, laws, policies, even practices. What is not there that you feel can support this network? Look, we're having this conference. We don't want to come here next year and we're still counting 200 facilities built. Sam told us, look, I think for us, the target is 50 toilets per month per TBO. And Opin said she has about 12 under her. So Opin, your target will be 12 times 50 per month. So next year when we meet, she needs to be telling us those kind of large numbers. And I know there are others with much firmer network. Sam's presentation, 50 toilets. Jane, you were not here, but it was staggering. 50 toilets per TBO per month. By 2030, we would have had 600,000 toilets, meeting the population of about 30 million Nigerians. I mean, that is literally just smashing it. And he decided that, okay, no, let's go for half, and he was quite conservative. And so it's a bit mind-blowing. So in closing, quickly, what is not there that you like to see in terms of framework, policies, or
I think
practice?
I'd like to go first.
Okay, good.
A challenge is our laws needs to be strengthened. Our bylaws are so weak.
No, so be specific.
Yeah, we need to criminalize in every state, in every community, the building of toilets, business centers without toilet facilities. Even in Lagos, where I live, they call it the center of excellence, but we are far from being that
Okay,
excellent.
so that's
city.
one. So you really want to do that. That's for public places, private public places.
Yeah, private.
Private public places. Because be careful when you say criminalize, because you will do harm. You may do harm. But I think to be specific, you were specific about private places, private institutions in public places.
And
like
even
in
home,
Italy.
and even homes too. It's a crime if you build your house. There are houses in Lagos without toilets. I don't need to tell you what the occupants do when they are pressed.
Okay, so fine. So we need to strengthen that law. Mrs. Okpara?
Okay, maybe here. Now, the housing laws. You know, again, you see landlords that build houses, and then the question again is, nobody is questioning that. So something needs to be done. And how about our schools? All our schools, a lot of schools are being built, there are no toilets. And yet these two schools are accepted after they have been constructed. So something actually
No, we
needs
have
to
toilet,
happen
but we
there.
can't use it now.
We cannot use them.
Sam
No,
told
some
us.
don't even have at all.
No,
Most
but
of the
Sam told us now that they had to upgrade some. So, Abi, toilets there now, but we feel use them. Okay, fine.
So I think we need to actually look at these laws around there to
Okay,
ensure
that's
that we
good.
strengthen them and ensure that health facilities, schools, we must ensure that the enforcement actually come in place.
So
And
be
then-
careful, people. You are giving things that are not helping us as TBOs. This is a TBO conference. That law is not helping Abi. It's not helping.
Well,
So-
if it is there, you actually also see that it will help them because it will bring more business to them. So because
For
you are creating,
construction.
yeah, of course, you are creating demand. And once demand is created, a supply man is actually out there looking out to see where he can actually tap into that business. So
Okay.
we need that to happen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Kenan, what would you like to see? What's there that is not available? What do you like to see? Laws, policies, practice?
Okay. When it comes to laws, it's not only just building of toilets. They should make sure that those toilets are accessible for persons with disabilities. And when you talk about the access of toilets, it's not only to persons on wheelchairs. Since we have different types of disabilities, we should ensure that those things that are barriers to us are taken away. Make sure that we have toilets that are accessible. Make sure that the toilets have ramps, and the toilet should be wide so that I can maneuver myself inside and even go out. We should have grab bars. Ensure that we have grab bars. That's what I want.
Thank you. Joy?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mine will be on improving the monitoring and evaluation system available. I know we have watch names. I think we need to get the numbers right, because if we get the numbers right, it will help the business owners to project, for their business projection and all of that. Currently now, the monitoring and evaluation system that we have, it's not integrated. Not all programs are feeding into it. So you have programs, but you're not able to gather our data right. So I feel if we get the numbers right, it's going to be helpful for a lot of people, both the government, development partners, and even the business owners that will be able to use that information for projections and other things.
Okay, so specifically owners, it means that if you know the number of households in a particular village, you can project the number of toilets you can build, isn't it? It can help you plan. In the next 1 year, if I do 50, 50, 50, I'll finish this local government. It means I need to start thinking that by next year I'm entering a new local government. That kind of thinking helps you know the kind of money that you'll be earning. Yes, Benson?
Yeah. What I would like to see in the next coming days or within the TBOs is to ensure that the TBOs are properly coordinated and the establishment of database, each person knowing how many toilets he has constructed in an area, and also working with the LGA. Another important thing that we really need to bring in is the functionality of the states. The states are functioning, but the LGA are not functioning. So these are things that need to be done so that the LGAs will function, because once the LGA function, activity will be going on well, and then the TBOs will get value for their money. In addition to that, there will be a mechanism whereby either through the Federal Ministry of Finance and CBN, they'll be able to access certain funds which the RWASA could stand as collateral to enable the TBOs access this fund without stress.
Okay, thank you very much. Our time is up. I would like to stop here. Please give our panelists a round of applause. Thank you so much. Sorry it's a bit rushed, but we really wanted to get this perspective. Time for a good group photograph. No, we can't stand. We have to sit. Okay. Feels good? Yeah. You have to accommodate us. Okay, thank you very much. Over to you, Boluatito. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. And please, let's give them a round of applause. I'm excited about the last plenary. Do you know why? Who can guess why? Who can guess why I'm excited about the... Thank you very much. Please clap for yourself. That's a gold... Okay, no, it's not really a gold standard, actually, because some things are still missing. But it was... there is something we think... We try to... Madam Joy mentioned it. She talked of looking through a certain lens. An inclusive lens, you know, equality or equity and non-discrimination lens. And I could relate totally to what was talked about with regards to access to toilets for people living with disability, because we had a simulation sometime when I actually visited your country, Sam, and we had this simulation where you make people be in that position. So we did a role play. Someone had to wear something heavy to make them seem like they were pregnant. Someone else wore glasses that made them visually impaired. You tie your hands, you tie your legs, and then we put a cardboard on the floor with toilet hole marking and tell you to try to squat and aim at it. So I think it is something that you can all simulate to enable you think about how to solve that problem of accessibility to toilets for everybody. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed that session. But the reason why I said it's not gold standard is because we need to see more young people in the room. Because here and now, all the plenary sessions we've been having all day, I know young people work in the communities. I know I see, you know, they are always in the rural communities, even grassroots level, but we're not seeing them on the panel here. So it's a consideration for next time. Please, when you are putting together your panels, please consider that so that we would have gold standard plenary sessions. Thank you very much. Now, finally, we are going to go over to presentation of the TBO network. This is the climax of the conference for us, and this is something we've been looking forward to. And we hope that from now on, we would continue to see how we can climb the ladder. We don't want to come back here, maybe at the next TBO conference, and hear the same statistics and see the same problems being talked about again. We want to see how we've progressed from what has happened now to the next level. We want to see how TBOs have expanded their businesses, how they are making more money, and how they are collaborating more with the key stakeholders they are supposed to collaborate with, how the government is doing more to support these businesses. So to start this session, which is going to take just 15 minutes, we are going to call on Mr. Chukwumanana of Toilet Pride. My very good colleague in the sector. We've known each other from way back. Well done. Yes, you've really done a good job. Thank you.
Thank you so much. For the TBOs, we'll do just one thing. Can you just take your hands this way? Just TBOs. Say well done. Say well done. All right, thank you so much. All right, so I want to invite Mr. Gimba Agoyo to come up, please. We just want to talk about one very interesting thing. It's been 2 exciting days of learning, engagement, sharing experiences. I've learned so much myself. But we want to just change gears, go to the next level. TBO network, what happens after today? Thank you, sir.
Okay, it's only me? Okay, all right. We have 15 minutes. The worst thing that can happen to anybody in any meeting like this is to be the one person that has the last presentation. Everybody's tired, everybody wants to go. So I'll try and make it interesting, okay? So I'll say something sad, one. Then I'll say something funny. So when I say something sad, be sad. Is that okay? When I say something funny, try and laugh, no matter how dry the thing is. Is that okay? Then I'll now have 2 things to talk about, and then we will close. So 15 minutes will be over, I promise you guys. So the sad thing is this. I can't believe up till now, almost 30 to 40 years later of talking about WASH in Nigeria, we are still talking about the basic things. Up till now, we are talking about making sure people living with disabilities are considered. I can't believe that up till now, we are still talking about hand washing and those things. When are we as a country ever going to start doing things, just doing, without even knowing that we are doing it? It's just ingrained in us. We just wake up and we have done something, we make sure that the concept is considered every angle, and we are okay with it. Is it possible? Is it possible? I'm asking you, is it possible? When is that going to happen? Are you not tired of the same thing every workshop over and over and over again? You can go and sit down, I'll take care of it. Thank you. Really? That's the sad thing. Let me say something funny now. So, years ago, I did some work in Borno State, where we went to do boreholes and sanitation work. And we ended up doing our baselines, and we say, okay, we'll put the borehole very close to the town. And we left, and we came back 6 months later. And we discovered that the borehole was broken. And when we did our investigation, we discovered that it's the community people, the elders, that broke the borehole. Do you know why? Because the borehole made it easy for the children to go and fetch water in the morning. They didn't have to work 30 minutes to 1 hour to go and fetch the water. And the only time the husband and the wife had time to do something was between 4 o'clock in the morning and 6 a.m. So how do you solve that problem? Please tell me, how do you solve that problem? I don't know. So I'm still thinking about it, and this is like 15 years later. I haven't gotten the answer. All right, so can I go to my slide now? So because of time, I'll just concentrate on 2 things. The objective of the TBO network. Chukwuma was kind enough to develop this for us. We have the TBO network being developed. The background introduction. I think the Chief of WASH, Chisom, and especially NECA did a fantastic job on that. I think we should give them a round of applause for that data they gave us. So it's just all part of that. But I'll do a lot of talking about what INECA did. INECA basically gave us what a TBO should look like, A to J, and all the way to where you can be a successful TBO. So for us, before we can have a network that is successful, we have to have each TBO here very successful. Am I correct? Because it reinforces each other. If a TBO is strong and is a member of a TBO network, that network will be strong. And that network will also go back and ensure that the TBO is stronger. Does that make sense? So we have to make sure that we go and harass NECA, look at her A to J, and make sure we tick those boxes. Okay? NECA, please, let's get that to everybody. Let's so we can have it. So let's go to the next slide. Let's go forward. Go forward to the objective. Background, go. I'm skipping all these things now. I'm not going to talk about it. Okay, fine. So we have 5 objectives. Now, what we did was we looked at the concept node that was developed by Toilet Pride, and we upped it up, and it became basically a terms of reference for the CBO network. So we made some improvements to it, nothing too much different. So I'm sure if you have seen that concept node, you will see this resemblance here. But what we did here was to make sure that you understand that you have a platform where you can collaborate as your first objective, as the most important objective. That's why we are here. And I'll talk about that later when I'm talking about the project cycle for the network. And once, the minute you establish a forum, you become attractive. You become an attractive bride to people like UNICEF, to people like WaterAid, to people like AFDB, and they want to come in and make you stronger, better, faster, more efficient. So that's the second objective there. You become a strong TBO network. A lot of capacity development will be given to you. I don't know what is out there for you already, but imagine you start working very well. That will actually happen almost automatically. Now, because the whole idea is that, you know that interesting discussion about one stick of broom easily breaks, but a bunch of broom can only bend. That's why that takes you to the next objective. Move forward. Basically about influencing and advocacy. So as a group, you become strong enough to be able to challenge anybody, governments, NGOs, INGOs, and you can ask them for things too. As a group, you are stronger. You are stronger together. And of course, once you have your network set up, you have the skills to dialogue, to engage people. The next thing that will come to you naturally, money, ego, kudi, it will come. And I sat down there yesterday, today, and I heard some very fantastic ideas on how money can be, brought into this network. And I can only imagine what you can do as a network. Do you know, I even imagine they can actually create your own, rather than going to an MFI, you actually create your own bank. Your own local bank in Nigeria. It's actually possible. It depends on you if you are strong enough. If you improve on your policy and dialogue enough. And then of course, this last one, we can't do anything without having a monitoring and evaluation framework in place. So these are your 5 key objectives for this network. This is how you're going to be working. These 5 objectives. So everything you are doing, make sure you're thinking about that. Now, yes, go ahead, please go ahead. So the approach, by the time we're going through this, we eventually discovered that we created basically like a project cycle for the network itself. So awareness generation is basically what we're doing right here, right now. You are creating an awareness, creating the network, and making everybody understand why the network is important. And the next thing, of course, is going to be that you're going to have to form the actual network and begin your work. So this whole all these meetings we've had is just preamble for you to start your work. The network is going to be formed, and you start your work. Next, go ahead. And then, of course, you begin to ask for capacity. So if there's a network and a structure is formed, there's a governing body, that governing body needs to have some certain skills quickly enough. Leadership skills, financial management skills, office building, maybe a vehicle or two, computers. These are all capacity building things they have to do. And, like I said earlier on, you become attractive to bigger bodies like UNICEF. And they knew, because now they know that if they support the NGO, the TBO network, they're actually supporting over 100 TBOs at the same time, every time they do that. So that's something that they're always looking forward to do for you guys. Next. So you start accessing your finances, and it goes back, full cycle, back to peer learning and knowledge sharing. This is awareness creation, and it is also a peer learning. It's going to, we are hoping, like I was mentioning to Chisom earlier today, we are hoping this will become a peer learning annual event. So, we want to see you coming together, discussing new ways of doing things, looking at who has done something very well and learning from it, and then improving another TBO's weakness based on that peer learning. Okay? So I'll skip the benefit. Go ahead. You can read this later. I'm sure Chukuma them Pride they will share this information for you guys. Let's go to the last thing. Go ahead. Just go ahead. I'm skipping this one too. So we have a structure we want to consider, or you guys should consider. We thought we'd do the structure today, but it looks as if there are some other discussions that are going to happen behind the scene. So we want to just show you what the structure will look like, generally speaking, so you can be thinking about it. So at the governance structure, there will be a governing council for the network, which will be called the steering committee. It's going to be made up of basically almost everybody here, at least a representation of everybody here, anyway. So their JD will be they're responsible for the strategic guidance, setting of the goals and objectives, and basically overall everything about the TBO network, okay? So I won't mention names, but just this will be discussed and you will get to hear about it later. There will be a secretariat as usual. Every network has a secretariat. Again, if you remember I said capacity building, that secretariat has to be equipped properly, and I can see that if this is properly formed, that is going to be something that you will get done within the next few months. Next. So there will be working groups. There will be gender-focused groups. There will be finance groups. There will be advocacy groups. There will be whatever group you can think of that you think the network needs to move forward. That will happen. Yeah, and then we thought we should create what you call a regional chapter or regional group, because again we are in Nigeria, we have to consider things. So we think there should be, outside of the governance structure, there must be representative of the North, representative of the South. How that will happen, again, you guys will discuss it later. And then the usual General Assembly. So in a lot of ways, this is like the first unusual General Assembly, even though it's not called a General Assembly. But the idea is that this should happen annually, and it will cover General Assembly, it will cover the meetings for the steering committee. I was again discussing with Chisom earlier. I said that for me, I think at this early stage, the steering committee should meet at least twice a year. Now, once the network is settled, stronger, they can go back to the traditional once-a-year meeting, because that's when you need. And then that can happen during end of this General Assembly period. So you come together in one place, not in Abuja all the time, because don't forget, you want to do peer review, you want to do knowledge sharing. So you may have to be moving around the country where there are success stories to hold your General Assemblies there, to hold your peer reviews there, and that kind of thing. So that's the idea we have here. And then, of course, this same network will eventually do the financial mechanism that you need. Again, I think if you do your game very well, already, By being a network like this, you can actually have access to a lot of funding from CBN directly, even right now. Right now, you can actually have access to some money funding from CBN. So you have to think through this thing and make sure you have all the finances that you need so that you can actually be sustainable. The idea here is that you don't want to be dependent on any INGO. You don't want to be dependent on UNICEF. You don't want to be dependent on WaterAid. You want to be as independent as possible, as quickly as possible. Okay? Next. And I think that's it. So this is just to help you think through things. I'm sure this will be shared to everybody. You can think through it and then eventually, So just keep this one. And so my last statement I want to make before I hand over to him is, there's a sentence I like so much. It's good like this. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Don't try to get things so perfect that you actually don't understand that you're already doing some good in this community. You have to work this out. This is the thing that might actually move Nigeria away from being the #1 country of OD people. Please, let's take this very seriously. I actually feel it in my bones that we actually are finally going in the right direction. Let's not take it for granted. I am passionately pleading with you guys. Let's take this very seriously. I'm sorry I can't speak. I mean, but please, really, we have to get this thing right. We have to get this thing right. It's embarrassing for me that I'm 200 million in this country and India is how many billions? How many billions is India? 1.9, 1.8, and we are #1. I wish you could just understand how it feels. It's wrong. It doesn't even make sense statistically. I don't know what you're talking about. It's wrong. So please, let's get this thing right. Forget about all chiefs. I'm sorry to have to say this to you guys. Forget about UNICEF and forget about all these WaterAid people. Forget about them. This is us. Let's make it work. And Satoman said this is the first of its kind anywhere. And Nigerians, we're always good at this thing. We're always good at being #1. We're good at being the leader. But when it comes to implementing and sustaining, we just fall apart. Let's stick to this thing and make it work. Once in our life, I beg. Enough of this thing. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll just say just one more thing. First, it's a big thank you to UNICEF. When we were developing the concept for the TBO conference, I know when we spoke with Madam Chisom, she asked a big question. What is the sustainability plan for the TBO conference? When we imagined to have a conference like this, we wanted to have this, but beyond this, the question is, what happens after today? And this is the response. We want to give visibility, we want to give voice, we want to give more recognition to the works of these amazing people in the house. When I spoke with Sam says, give me a business case while Sato will want to invest in this. And this is our response. We think that if we support a network that encourages the development of a vibrant private sector engagement, perhaps we will make strong progress. I also want to thank Madam Okwara, the Nigeria campaign, and every other body in this house, in this room, that has come out here today to see how we can push it. So our TBO network is about us. It's about giving this voice a national platform where every TBO can get recognized, can get involved, gain access to more resources, and together we can make strong progress at ensuring that come 2025, we would begin to have more families that have improved access to quality and affordable toilets. So one quick question before we go out. For the TBOs in the house, just a quick one. What would you want to see in a TBO network, an eventual TBO network? Anybody want to talk? What would you want to see? What kind of network would you want to have? Anybody want to say something? Just a quick one. We are proposing a TBO network. And this can't run without TBOs themselves. I want to ask TBOs here. Yeah? Okay, 2 minutes. You want to say 2 things? Okay, fine. 2 points. Sorry. Yeah.
Amma da fatan za a yi kashi cikin aminci. The only two things I would insist and advise to have in order to build a strong network is confidence and consistency. Those are the only two key things I want to draw our attention. Thank you very much.
All right, any other person want to say something? All right.
Good evening, everyone. I would love to see we TBOs from this point we have this conference. Let us have collaboration and network within the state so that we can share ideas and then see how we can generate understanding and how to penetrate to some of the communities that are finding it difficult. And then we'll also share ideas how local governments will be able to find a way of bringing traditional rulers to give us the opportunity to talk to their people, because you can't penetrate some of the communities without the traditional rulers. The insecurity, and sometimes they are interested in what they get. So if you are coming, they see you as a politician. They are not even seeing you are helping the community for them to have good health and clean environment. So those collaborations will be able to help us so that we can move in. We thank God our parents, the DGs, are around. They will help us to see how they can also initiate through the local government chairmen to be able to have some little discussion with the district heads, village community leaders, and tell them the importance of our presence around them. Then we'll be able to grow with them.
Thank you. Any other person? Okay, just two more, then we'll go. We're losing time. All right.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed the 2 days, and what I just want to say, it's like addition. I want us to actually, I'm talking in terms of collaborations and partnership and finance, all this kind of thing, for the network. We could actually look at Rotary International, because Rotary is an international organization which I belong to, and they are doing so many mind-blowing projects, especially in rural communities, in different communities across Nigeria. And we have Rotary clubs in all the states in Nigeria. So we can get across to them, and they can help us to do, I don't want to bore you with what Rotary do. When you visit their website, you know what they are doing. But as I'm talking about Rotary, I believe some of us know what I'm talking about. Let's leverage on Rotary to get across, especially meeting our target. Concerned that Rotary can get it at least 70% done within that range. Yes, thanks.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you so much. Back to... Okay, so we'll go to the next session. So, but basically we wanted to just present this to the House. We want to take this forward, and we'll be coming over to your states to get more consultations. And beyond also having visibility for TBOs, it also helps us get data. We would know clearly, Madam Okpara said something earlier that would generate a database for TBOs. So hopefully with your support, we would set up a vibrant TB network that would contribute significantly to the watch sector in Nigeria. We would, in the next few weeks, begin to visit states. We have about 10, 11 states in the House now, and we would keep communicating with the state RUASAs, the LGAs, and to see how we can roll this out. We don't know it all, and that's why we want to also learn from you and see how we can push this forward. I don't know, is Bolo around? Okay, I think we can talk to Bolo. Okay. So if we'll send emails, a website is coming up also, tbonetwork.org, so you find more information around the network here. All right, so if there are additional questions, we'll also get them. All right.
Thank you very much. So please hold on to you see everybody on that table. Okay, except my very good friend Abasiama and my Ogawale. Every other person there is from Toilet Pride. Hold them. Any information you need, the emails and everything, just hold on to their waists. Thank you very much. So we've officially come to the end of our conference. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Yes, we're excited about this. Now, what we are going to do, and then we go home, is to hear your reflections. You know that this morning when we started, we said that, what did you take from yesterday? Now we want to hear what you are taking away from these 2 days. What do you want to commit to? We have talked, we've learned a lot of things. What are we going back home to go and do? What are the, there is something we talk about in CLTS. Simple, immediate, doable actions. Or small, immediate, doable actions. What are the small steps you want to take immediately you get back? What are the medium steps? What are the longer term steps? So that by the time we come back next year, we are having things to talk about. This is what is going to be facilitated by Blessing Ushe from Toilet Pride. And I think Abdul Salam is going to join her. They are going to do it in 15 minutes. So before they come up here, please think about your key takeaway from these 2 days and what actions you are going to take when you go back home, because we are going to take it down and we are going to, reflect on it and ask you about it. Chukuma has said that we are coming to your different states. We are going to ask, okay, how far have you gone on your commitments? Blessing, please.
One more thing. Sorry, before we go. So,
okay.
Just so we're sure we're on the same page, we need to ask this. Just to ask here, who would want to be a member of the TBO network in the house? So, let's ask, who wants to, who want to be a TBO network, a member of the TBO network? Can we just see your hands up? From your heart, from the lungu of your heart. So, how many TBOs would want to be a part of a network that can speak up for them, help them connect, learn, gain encouragement? We have a full house. We have a full house. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Blessing, please.
Thank you very much. I'm Blessing Jeffrey, and I will be facilitating a section on participants and commitment. The TBOS conference has been ongoing since yesterday, and participants came all the way from government agencies, CSOs, and others present here. Yesterday, we got challenges that were shared, success stories that were shared, and all the deliberation that has been going on so far. So I know right where we are, we have reflection that we want to talk about, and we have commitment. So I'm going to briefly, because we don't have much time, and then immediately after that, I think we'll develop little action plan, because it's very, very important. So now we have about 15 states present here, and I would like those states to present us one participant each, so that I will just briefly get the reflection. Marvelous, you will help me jot down the reflection while I just get the information from them. So right here we have Abia State, we have Ogun, we have Imo, Yobe, Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Adamawa, Kaduna, FCT, Katsina, Zamfara, Oyo, and Yola. So please, the first one, Abia. Can I have one representative from Abia State? Just one person who will give me his or her commitment and reflection. Hello? Do we have Abia State in the house?
Abia. Abia.
Okay.
No, they've not closed though. Abia. Your reflection on the 2-day conference. Yes. What has touched your heart? What has stirred you? What do you want to go back home to do? Are you the one from? So please, thank you very much. Oh, you want to be the spokesperson? Yes. Who are the? Oh, you guys are on separate tables. So who are you nominating to give the reflection?
We don't have much time. Don't you have
yes,
a reflection?
Please. The barrister, please, your reflections quickly. Oops, thank you. Please, the next state. Which state is the next state? Let them start thinking about their reflection. Blessing, the next state. Let them
okay,
start
we have Ogun State.
Yeah, so after
please
Abia,
please.
Ogun State.
Just stand up so that immediately we'll get to you. You present.
Our reflection
the next one, Imo
of
and Yobe. Be on standby, please.
Program. All right, thank you so very much. Dinne Israel. Okay.
Dinne Israel is the name from Abia State. Uh, my prospect or that of my state in the participation of this event, I must first of all commend those and all the partners. It is an awesome beginning, and based on all I have said, is what we encourage to continue, and we ensure to give our support at every time and every level that are being called upon. Now, coming to assessment about the program itself and our take home is going to be that the good news we've gotten from here, the education and the sensitization we've gotten, we'll definitely take it back home, because I can assure you, it's not a good report, but not really a good report. But my state has been one that has also been affected by this open defecation and environmental hazards coming from this aspect. So we are going to ensure that, if possible, that maybe the next TBO conference starts from Abia. At least we deserve being the first alphabetically as well, that you come over there and have this event. And then going further, we are also going to encourage that as we go back, we carry all that we have here, because so far we've been trying to penetrate with this toilet business. Truth is, the presence, the awareness is very minimal in Abia. But from this, as we have said, we are pledging to take the gospel back home and then report back to you, just as you directed us. Those of them over there, we are going to hold them and get all the necessary informations we'll take back home. And with time, you're going to hear back from us. God willing, Abia State will set the pace. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Abia.
Thank you very much. Ogun State. Do we have Ogun State in the house?
Ogun State.
Okay, let's go to Imo State if Ogun State is not available.
Imo State. Okay. Please, what's the next state so that they'll start preparing?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Njoko from Imo State. I want to use this medium to thank our sponsors and every leader that is here. Thank you so very much. And like my takeaway, I am very happy to be one and to be present here. And I think the 2-day program or conference really is a very good one, and I've learned. And it has also encouraged me to go home and preach the good news about to keep environment, most especially, neat and conducive for everyone. And I pray that where I'm coming from, yes, somehow we are stubborn somehow, and I am challenged by what I have heard from both FCT and other states. I must be frankly speaking, it's not like that where I'm coming from, but with me here, I think God helping me, I will help to facilitate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And please, let me quickly say something. This is a very important section. We are talking about TBOS network here, and this is the first conference. I'm surprised that some states don't want to stand up. Please note that if you didn't participate in this section and tell us your commitment and your reflection, it's as if you didn't get anything after this program. So please, if you want to be part of this network, try and give us your reflection and commitment, because I am noting down. Thank you very much.
Sorry, just to add one more thing. When we meet again, like we discussed, we want to have numbers beyond the commitment. So we just want to stress, because we've agreed here that we need millions of toilets to achieve ODF Nigeria B. And one of the things, the expectations from this network is that the toilets, the numbers that we'll produce will come from this network. So an angle to the question is, it might be hard to say, but we should also start thinking, how many toilets with my state contribute to this vision? We talked about a 600,000 toilets reaching million. So it's not going to come from the skies. It will come from the TBO network. So as we ask what commitment will you make from the state, we'll also at some point want to hear that an Ekiti state, for instance, will produce 1 million toilets in the next 1 year. So I'm just trying to say it's not just, it's for us, it's beyond not just coming first, not coming last, but about numbers. We would want to know that every month, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 new toilets is coming from our state. So that's the kind of commitment we want, not just speeches, to be honest. We think that we need numbers. So we would want to hear at some point what number would we want to see moving forward. It might be hard to say now, but I want us to think about it. Will Zamfara State give us 300 toilets from now to World Toilet Day? Will Kano give us 100 new toilets before World Toilet Day? We want to celebrate this year World Toilet Day with numbers. We're hoping that we can get that from this room. For us, I mean, this is the challenge. If we have 10, 12 states in this room that commit to contributing an average of 3 to 5, 10,000 toilets every month, we will make progress. I just want to stress that we want numbers. We want it to be visible, not just me. I want to start to say that.
Thank you very much. Let's get to Yobe, the one that is ahead. Because yesterday, I heard you have about 600 toilets, 600,000, maybe 600 toilets constructed. So TBOS business is not just a business as usual. A lot of people have scaled up. We heard from Madam yesterday from Ado, the TBOS, the female TBOS. She has scaled up. She has increased her TBOS business to a small scale cooperative, to a cooperative business. So why are we still sitting down here? Let's carry on. Yobe State, please.
Good afternoon, one again. First of all, I wish to thank my Almighty Allah for enabling us to save ourselves in this, our conference, World Pest Toilet Business Owners Conference. Really, I was injected. I eager to, if I return to Yobe, inshallah, I will try all my possible, or all our possible, to engage new agents in order to get the person needs latrine from their rural communities, and a new agent, as well as we want to our community to be ODF. Inshallah, we will try all our possible based on our capacity to deliver this message to our Yorubians. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful.
Thank you. We have Adamawa next and Bauchi follows. Bauchi, be on standby. Adamawa.
Adamawa.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ganiyira Elam. I want to use this medium to appreciate our facilitators for giving us some insight about this first toilet business owners conference. In fact, we were fully equipped with the explanations and some of the seminars we received here in Abuja for the first toilet business owners. The first thing that comes to my mind, in fact, we have the knowledge, we have been given the knowledge of to create awareness for the people in our state in order to use a toilet. So I want to promise us that next year conference will come with the result that we have constructed more than 2,000 toilets for the clients. And second to it, we learned the causes of lack of using a toilet. Thus, it causes diarrhea and it causes cholera. So these some of a few diseases. In fact, they are very dangerous. So sometimes if the people of Adamawa, if they are practicing open defecation, they are going to encounter with this some diseases. So when we go back to our state, we can make sure that we put our effort in order to avoid all these things, and we're going to create awareness in the schools and the religions and the householders in order to make sure that they have afford the toilets in their communities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next we have Bauchi State.
After Bauchi.
And Benue.
Benue, please prepare yours.
Thank you once again for having this opportunity to come back. Our takeaway, we have numerous to say, but we are going by one of the last speaker, Gimba. We are picking one out of his statement, but we have many. That one, we even take it as you are wani, you are kai. That means we are not considering UNICEF, they are foreigners. We are doing it for ourselves, and we are the first and the last beneficiaries. So when you talk of open defecation or kumayin kashi, is far back as the first history of human being. So whatever UNICEF is doing to us, I think we are going to be the first beneficiary, and we are strongly giving confidence to Dr. Jane as she has visited Bauchi. She has seen our performance, and we are assuring you we are going to go out of the box to achieve this open defecation, inshallah. Thank you once again. Till we see you next in Bauchi State.
Thank you very much. I trust Bauchi State, and I know you can deliver.
Benue.
Let's hear from Benue, and Enugu be on standby.
Yes.
Okay, my name is Ori Adai. I'm from Benue State. I'm speaking on behalf of Benue State. What we are taking home is number one thing we'll be doing is we are going to initiate a TBO network in the state, or rather strengthen it. We are going to use this medium to reactivate the weak TBOs that are already existing. We are also going to share learnings through this platform and set targets for ourselves or for the TBOs, so that at the end of the day, by the next opportunity to meet, would have arrived at over 2,000 toilets. Thank you.
I trust him. I know what they can do. I've been with them in Benue State. Well
Thank
done,
you
man.
very much. That's a great one. Can we hear from Enugu State while Castina is on standby, please?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Obu Christopher. I'm a director in the Ministry of Water Resources, Enugu. I'm here to speak on behalf of Enugu team. I'm very happy to inform you that TBO that went to Mozambique is from Enugu State. Can you see him? Stand up. This is he. So he went to Mozambique through support from Water Aid, and the person who did it is no. I'm coming. His neck.
Thank you very much. That's
So,
a great one.
when we go back to Enugu, we just have a new governor. Okay. I will liaise with my PAMSEC and the MD Ruwasa to pay an advocacy visit to the governor. We shall tell him actually what is going on, because I know he's not aware of what is happening. Even if he knows, he doesn't know much. So I will make sure that we strengthen the TBO network in Enugu State. We shall advise the governor to release some fund so that they will have access to fund that will help them to perform. You cannot do anything without money. And I promise that during this year's toilet day, we must hit at least 1,000 toilets. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Kaduna State. No, Katsina. Katsina on standby before now. Let's hear from Katsina State, please.
Who is the next state so that they can be
Kaduna on standby.
Okay.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Mustafa Abdullahi from Katsina Ruasa. Number one, I just want to commend the organizers of this TBOS conference. It has been a wonderful conference. I don't want to talk too much, but what we are going to do now, when we go back, I will try to see that I will replicate what we have done here for 2 days. We'll bring all the TBOs in Katsina State together and discuss, share ideas and what we have learned here. And I assure you, inshallah, in the next 6 months, Katsina State will be able to produce 270 household latrines in the next 6 months, inshallah.
Thank you very much. Let's give Mustafa a hand of applause. Okay, Kaduna and FCT on standby.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bawa Elisha from Kaduna, representing Jama'a TBOS. My take home, as at yesterday when our mothers gave us their presentation, sometimes when you think you are doing well, when you get some testimony, you will not discover that you've not started. And that was exactly what happened. I'm a distributor, not just a TBO. I'm a TBO and a distributor. So I discover if I'm ordering 1,000 pieces and I think I'm selling and I'm making profit, by the time I finish hearing their presentation yesterday, I now discover even the 1,000 is not enough for a month. Because if we have about 255 TBOs in Kaduna, and then Mr. Sam yesterday said every TBO in a month should be able to install 50. If you multiply 50, you are talking about 12,750 in a month for each TBO to install 50. Then when you are multiplying that to 12 months, you are talking about almost 150-something thousand. So it means what we are even doing, we've not done anything. And that's why we are struggling. So if we want to face the reality, we are living here as beginners. One, we thank God that the conference is the first conference, not just in Nigeria, but even in Africa. That alone, we should look at it and look, these TBOs we've been thinking we are working, is now we want to start the journey, and this network, honestly, is not a joke. We need to begin to look at. Nobody should see himself as a TBO in a local government and remain there. It means you are a TBO for every local government in your state. If one person failed in your state, all of us have failed. And my happiness is that our DG is around. So it's going to help us to know that every TBO in every local government is his responsibility of us to work. And we must give him report every month. Without that, it means we have failed, all of us. God will help us to be able to meet next time and begin to present 153,000 installation for 12 months. By his grace, we will do it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's hear from the FCT, then Zanfara Oyo on standby.
FCT, please. Okay.
Good evening, everybody here present. Thank Almighty Allah who make it possible to witness this very important event. And on the other side, we appreciate and very thankful to the organizers, which is a historical event. At the same time, I'm very much proud to see that FCT has been the first to host this memorable event. We really appreciate. We know FCT, a very friendly city, the environment, so I hope everybody around here has enjoyed it. So actually, a 2 days conference has been very interesting. When you look at it, all the presentations made were very attractive. We have gained a lot. A lot of things have been gained from the presenters, which if you can look at issue of, this is a business, and we have been investing money in it. the issue of recycling, even if you look at this point, is very important. Most of the developed countries, they rely on recycling. If Germany has been the first country in the world in recycling the waste, they have been recycling the 66% of their waste to turn it to money. Then Australia follows second. So we hope we can cope with this thing. So actually, already we have been investing a lot in this business, in these toilet businesses. Because in FCT here, you can see one project may cost you about 25 million naira. So, but we realize that now the rural areas, with the emphasis we have gained here, they are seriously in need of it. So actually, we should go into turn our direction to the rural areas to give our contributions. With the 20 million, I know a lot will be put in there in the rural areas. So if you can look at the number of the toilets in the FCT, from the satellite towns, villages, most of the part, you can see a lot of money has been invested. So with the conference, with the presentations, we should try our best to see that the rural area also have been achieved something from this conference. So at the same time, we should go into look at the issue of coming together. In anything, if you come together, it's an achievement. Because even a house, if they are divided, they have failed. So when we come together, it's a big achievement. So coming from all over the nation, all over the country, even if some states have not come, the message will reach them. I know from the network, from the media that have come here, the network will reach them. So even this one, an achievement. So we really appreciate, and we can do our best to see that we have passed the information to our members, to see that we have achieved and succeed. Open defecation has been a very big challenge. If you look at even our cultures and ethics, nobody will support a woman to see her, she open her naked on the road. But you can see it is happening.
Yes, you're right.
Even the men, it's not advisable. So what of chocolates of our mothers, which has been a very big challenge. You can see them, they were in the situation where they found with themselves. They want to see that they have meet the call of the nature, but to see where to defecate is not easy. So if we have a lot of it, we could have achieved a lot. So thank you very much. I thank Almighty for making it possible to see the end of this conference very successfully. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that wonderful reflection and commitment. Then we have 3 states, and I want us to be on standby also. Zamfara, Oyo, and Yola. That's the last 3.
Zamfara. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ibrahim Aliu from Zamfara State, Zurmi TBO. Muna godiya ga Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala da ya haɗa mu a nan, sannan kuma muka samu ilimi tun daga jiya har zuwa yanzu, da manya-manyan da suka zo, da mu TBOS gaba ɗaya muna godiya da ilimin da muka samu sosai. Idan muka koma a Zamfara, insha Allahu mun gani misali a Bauchi da Yobe, wasu creative abubuwa da aka kawo mamu waɗanda mu kila ba mu sani ba, yanzu mun sani. To insha Allahu in muka koma kafin lokacin da za a ƙara samu wani second conference toilet business owners, in Allah yadda za mu samu a lot of huge numbers na new latrine, insha Allahu. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Oyo State?
Yes. Actually, he mentioned that his coming here has been very fruitful. He has learned a lot. He and his team has learned a lot from the states that are present here, especially Bauchi and then Yobe. But the thing is that when they go back, they will actually do something differently. And when next there is opportunity to attend a session like this, there's going to be a lot of toilets.
Okay, let's hear from Oyo State.
Oyo State. But we also want to, you
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sanya Popola Rashidat, Watch Coordinator on our local government, representing Oyo State. Oyo as space setter, our action plans goes like: 1, We are going to give our TBO support and backup to work freely at the LGA and at state level. Second, on behalf of the LGA management, I'm talking on behalf of my chairman, we are going to give all our TBOs operational certificates to be able to work very well, to be able to work without fear. Thirdly, we are going to enforce on the existing sanitation bylaw and public health law in order to provide toilets in all the household and public places. Then fourthly, we are going to organize capacity building for the other TBOs that were not around here, so that they will understand all the activities that goes on here and they will work very well, especially on the TBOs network. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The last in the list is Yola.
Yola.
Do we have a representative in the house? Yola.
Adama.
Okay, that's Yola.
They say Adamawa hasn't spoken. Adamawa.
Okay, let's hear from Adamawa. Adamawa.
Oh, they've gone. Oh, he said they've gone.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. TBOs. I want us to know that TBOs are one of the most lucrative business in sanitation sector right now. Because from my experience, interacting and working at the community level and household, note that ODF attainment is sure. But when one's household construct unimproved latrine, when those latrine collapse, they go back to their old ways. They go back to open defecation. So if we must attain ODF and sustain it, there is a need for improved smart toilet to be constructed. So go back home, do your networking, and construct your toilets, because the market is free and open. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
That reminds me, we'll fall back quickly to the action plan development, and I will be inviting...
There's no going to... you should be inviting me. Thank you very much. But there might not be...
Okay,
yeah?
that was the 3 minutes you needed me.
Okay, just 3 minutes to let them know. Okay. Okay. Hello. Can we give her a round of applause as she leaves?
No, it's mine.
Thank you very much. So basically, there is not going to be action plan. We know there is a challenge and we need to step up. We need to do something differently. Okay, let's just, in 3 minutes, have a final reflection on the action plan, which is already in our mind. We have about 150 TBOs here present. And can I ask, Hajia, how many agents do you have? 13. You have 13 agents. And he mentioned when he was making his presentation that if we can do 50 per the TBOs that are present here, the 150 TBOs will have been providing over 600,000 toilets. Colleagues, can I have a calculator there? Briefly, I have only 2 minutes now. She has 13. Let's say she have gone back and each and every one of us decide to have a minimum of 10, let's say 5 agents. 5 agents. And your agents are providing at least 10 or 15, let's say 10 toilets for you. Each agent is helping you to have 10 toilets. Excellent. Can you do 10 times 10 agents? Do you understand? No, 10 toilets times 5 agents. What do you have? 650 is 50. And then you as a TBO, you are able to, from you directly, you constructed maybe 30. Let's say 30 at minimum. How many toilets will a TBO be providing? 80 toilets. And how many local governments do you have in Bauchi, for instance?
20.
You have 20. Each local government have how many TBOs? 10. 10 times 20 times 80. 16,000. So it means the result we are providing, we haven't started doing anything yet.
it means the results we are providing, we have not started doing anything yet. So we need the buy-in from RUWASA. The heads are here. When you go back, please provide every opportunity for these people to meet with the clients. The wash unit, wash department, do your homework. Provide a platform for the network to work. So colleagues, we should be thinking of having a minimum of 16,000 toilets per month. When we provide 6,000, 5,000, 10,000, we are so happy. But today, we have proven to ourselves that it's not enough. So colleagues, on the final note, I want to hear the yes or no from you. Are we going to do something differently when we go back to our states? Yes. No, that's not enough. Are we going to do something differently? Yes. Can we do it? Yes. Can we do it? Yes. Can we shout smart toilet for all? Oh no, it seems there is hungry in our stomach. Smart toilet for all. Smart toilet for all. That's the spirit.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, it's been wonderful. It's been a wonderful 2-day experience. We've heard all your wonderful testimonies. There's been a lot of learning. And Chukuma, please, when this network is organized, I want to suggest something. These commitments we're getting, these numbers we're asking for, people that are able to hit these numbers should become role models. We should have peer learning activities. Let them go and show those who are not doing it well how to do it. Take TBOs from Bauchi to Zamfara. Take TBOs from Oyo to which other? Oyo to maybe Ekiti to Ondo State. Let them show them how it's done. Let them see that there is something significant going on here. Let them be rewarded for the hard work they are doing. Because even though it's a business and they are making profit out of it, they also need to see the social value that this is bringing to our society. Thank you so much, everybody. And on this note, we wrap up the first ever Toilet Business Owners Conference. Please give ourselves a round of applause. We would like to thank all our amazing partners, the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, Clean Nigeria Secretariat, Toilet Pride for, doing all the logistics, UNICEF, you guys have been wonderful. Sato, thank you for coming all the way from Kenya. And also, yes, I can see you over there, for taking the lead here in Nigeria. Smidan, I don't know if the Smidan representative is here at the moment, and all other individuals who came. Thank you, Wash Media Network. I know that from this evening, we are seeing dissemination all over media. Wash Media is already out. I trust you guys. Thank you so much. And on that note, we say thank you very much for coming. Oh, please, Madam Okwara, please, you want to give a closing remark? Oh, you wanted to?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that it has been a very, very wonderful session. For all the toilet business owners, I would say, we came, we saw, and what again? We conquered. So on behalf of the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, we want to say a big thank you. First, she has actually said all the thank yous, but thank you is never enough. To Toilet Pride, who actually brought this up. To UNICEF, a wonderful and dependable partner. We have Sato, we have Ligzil all the way from Kenya. We have all our general managers. We say thank you, and we are looking forward to a bigger coordination within your states. To all our toilet business owners and other partners, we have Water Aid here, and all other partners, please, we want to say a big thank you for coming, and then we look forward to the outcome of this, because we're also looking at a post. So we have said a whole lot. This is no time to continue to talk, but to say thank you very much. And as you travel, we pray that God will lead you all safely back to your different destinations. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, ma. Please don't leave. Let's all gather in front for a group picture. Okay, please, you've been given